what happens when I hear the applause? It's just kind of fun. Good morning, everybody. Dr. Laurie Davis coming to you from a cloudy, cooler Edmonton, Alberta today. And over to you, Virginia, for your greetings. How are things in Lacombe County?
Good morning. Happy hump day, people. It's
Mhm.
Wednesday. We're back. Same here, a little cloudy. The last time I looked, it was about 11, I guess, but not terrible. I mean, half of what it was yesterday. So we take the
I
good with the bad.
know.
We roll with
I
the
know.
flow. We don't stress
We
about things.
do.
It's the way we are.
No.
I am Virginia Clarke, broadcasting from Lacombe County, Alberta. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. What's on our agenda for today, Dr. Laurie?
Well, we're going to talk today. Well, first, I just want to say I did get outside the last 2 days in the sun and got some vitamin D. It's so energizing. I just feel like $1,000,000 right now. And today we're going to talk as sort of a pre conversation. We're going to have more of them because we have both been through serious health issues. We've had to rely on the healthcare system. I was treated royally. I know you were too. But there's a lot of pressure there because of the overload of work and not enough doctors. And there's all kinds of reasons why I want to do this publication. So we're going to take some of the content from my 40 workshops we created years ago called Responsible Wellness and put that content in the book along with personal stories. And we're going to create a 21-day guide to getting healthier. Because if we take care of ourselves, when we take care of ourselves, that means that the pressure on the system could be reduced. This is my big picture. The pressure on the system could be reduced if we don't need to go to the hospital so often, or we don't need to go to the doctor all the time for every little thing. Then maybe we could attract more doctors, we could afford more doctors, we could see people at a decent amount of time. And I'm really excited about it because I know we have a lot to contribute in this area of health and wellness. So, what do you think of that?
I love that idea, Dr. Laurie. And yes, going through my cancer journey, absolutely. I met some amazing, amazing people. My questions were answered, but we've talked about this before, and you and I are similar in the fact that we take action when we have something going on. We want to know, we want to learn, we have questions. We don't just sit back and let things happen. It's some things are out of our control, and we get that, and we're fine with that. But what we can control is, how we respond to things. If we have questions, ask them. If the doctors tell you to stay home or do this or do that, listen to them. Then maybe things won't happen as much. I especially for me with chemo treatments, there was a week where I felt fabulous, but that was the week where my immune system was the lowest.
Oh,
I did not
wow.
go out. I stayed home because
Mhm.
I did not want to risk getting sick. So
Exactly.
you need to advocate for yourself, and you need to pay attention and listen. And, even though your body may be feeling good, you have to think about, just because I'm feeling good on the outside, what's happening to me on the inside, right? It's so important, and just paying attention, but knowing your body, one, is a
Yes.
lot. Yeah, what we've talked about in responsible wellness is understanding your body. What does your body need? How does your body react to things?
Mhm.
And that's a beautiful part of the process is learning your body and
Exactly. And
listening.
you are almost finished all 40 workshops in wellness.
Yes.
And I just want to put that out there. We have 40 workshops. Imagine an
Hmm.
hour a week for 40 weeks to get yourself back on track. So we're going to high speed it forward with 21 days to wellness because you can do all of that in 21 days if you were to focus on that. A little bit of time each day for 21 days. It's going to be fun. And we're also going to cover all aspects of the medicine wheel and our balance wheel. So, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and then what about mental health? The statistics are through the roof on mental health. 1 in 4 Canadians are struggling with some kind of mental health issue. Well, we're going to be addressing that in the book too. So it'll
Mhm.
be jam-packed full. I should put the cover up. Here's the cover. I love
Yes,
the
yes,
cover. Look
yes.
at this. It's so beautiful. And that's your work. Isn't
Thank
that beautiful? And it's going to be amazing. And everybody and anybody out there who wants to learn how to be responsible for your own wellness, it will have tons of ideas, little exercises, things you can do, simple things. One of the simple things I learned how to do, which I never did in my whole life, but that was about breathing. Remember our friend Sylvia, who taught us how to do breathing exercises every day
Mhm.
because she shared with us oxygen kills cancer cells. So we need to get lots and lots of breath in there. And I know you did that, didn't you? That's part of
Mhm.
what you did during your journey.
Yeah.
So give us a little, because you're going to have an article in the book. So just give us a little rundown of uh, who or what you accessed in that process to get better.
Well, of course, the conventional medicines. I had my surgeon, I had my oncologist, I had, oh my goodness, so many nurses, beautiful, wonderful, caring nurses through that process. Um, at the time, I actually didn't have a family doctor, which I mean, this a shortage was at the time was just the time I needed a family doctor. I didn't have one all my whole life. I've had one, but I had been able to go into walk-ins and been treated just fabulous that way. But it's the questions you ask as well. Don't just, if you want a second opinion or if you have questions, um, all of my questions, they got answered. So when the surgeon, I talked to him and and I'm not knowing much about the type of tumor I had breast cancer. He said right away, "You have to have chemo," and for my thought before even going in was like, "I'm not doing chemo." Like, I saw what it did to my grandma, I'm not doing chemo. But the more research I did on the type of cancer I had, realized, well, if I wanna live, that's probably my best shot right now for the
Mhm.
size, fast it was growing, the aggression, it was an aggressive type of tumor. So, started chemo within a month of seeing the surgeon and just going that way, but also, accepting it, not fighting it, right?
Mm.
Accepting the fact that right now this chemo is going to be my best bet. I'm just, and the positive outlooks, like you said, the breathing when I'm sitting there, getting the treatments, just keeping the breath going, but just being, not everybody's okay with that type of diagnosis. And
Definitely.
we talk a lot about what we learn from it. And I learned to slow down and I learned to take care of myself. And those were lessons that at that point in time in my life, I had to learn.
Mhm. Exactly.
So just accepting it and being okay and just, going on. But yeah, those conventional, if I had questions, I would come to every appointment with questions. I
Mhm.
would come to you know, every time I had a chemo treatment, they had paperwork you had to take home and fill out for the 2 weeks. All my paperwork, everything was done. I was proactive in
Right.
taking care of myself.
And you used some alternative things too, didn't you, as well? Because
Yeah.
you did a variety of things. You did the conventional stuff that you had to do.
Mhm.
Then you did some alternative stuff. So what kind of alternative things did
Well,
you do?
I still looked into what type of, minerals and vitamins and stuff like that I could take alongside the chemo, and I did. And I would utilize, I would, like, lay in the tub in a nice soak and visualize my body loving on the tumor, but also just kind of that meditation part saying, "Thank you for the lessons you're teaching me, but you can't stay." Right?
Mhm.
I love the lessons, and I mean, I even created art around it, visualized the tumor and hearts around it, but visualizing it shrinking. And I created art around that. That's part of, how that therapeutic art part of it. So just those alternative ideas. We talked about the breathing. Some of the treatments were, some of the times, I guess, should be after treatment, pretty painful. The other alternative was acupuncture.
Mm-hmm.
Acupuncture was so helpful with the pain that I was going through. So just, you have to look outside the box and think of other things and other options and ideas of how you're going to get through. And like we say, not everything works for everybody. When we talk about our experience, that's our experience, right? We don't say, oh, this is what's going to work for you. You have to do it. No,
Mm-hmm.
we talk about our experience and what worked for us when we think about the conventional and alternative medicines.
Right.
But yeah, so those were some of the things, just, things that we had learned along the way, and maintaining that positive attitude. When I went out, people had no idea I had cancer.
No,
I
I
didn't
know.
I didn't present myself as a sick, I mean, other than the fact I lost all my hair, my eyebrows, and my eyelashes. People wondered then what was going on. But I didn't present myself as a sick person. I was still me. This is just something I was going through. And when we think about our self-worth, with all of the workshops and the journey that I had been on previously with my self-worth, I knew that I'd be okay. I knew that I would get through it. And I knew, even with the support from our self-worth community, I knew I could get through anything with that. So it was so
Right.
helpful. Mm-hmm.
Right. So in the book, in the working journal, I call it, it's an opportunity for people to take 21 days, spend maybe 20 minutes, a half an hour a day on the concepts, the techniques that we present. Enjoy reading the stories that are in the journal. There will be personal stories in there. And I know that person, every person could benefit from knowing some things about how to take care of ourselves. Because when you grew up in my generation, there was no drinking 8 glasses of water a day. That was unheard of. Uh, there are certain things that we can do now. Like we couldn't get fresh fruit and berries in the middle of the winter. We can do that now. So how we grew up, and I remember my dad. When my dad got paid, the first thing my parents did was go to the grocery store. And I remember mom and dad having a conversation about the cost of groceries and, how much food do we really need? And I remember distinctly my mom looking at my dad and saying, well, we have two options here. We either feed them properly or they're going to be sick and we'll be buying drugs. Because back then, there was no Medicare, there was no free medical service like there is today. It's not free. As a matter of fact, in Canada, the healthcare budget is $400 billion a year. And our tax dollars pay for that. So it's not free. We're paying for it, but at the same time, we don't have to have the money in hand to go see a doctor. And before that, if the doctor came to the house, he often went home with a chicken out of the farmyard or a dozen eggs, or it wasn't always about the money.
Mm-hmm.
So in my generation now, there's so much information, and we can go online and learn how to be healthy and read what's best for us. And this fruit will do that, and this vegetable will do that. But at the same time, the piece that's missing from that, we have the information, but what we need is that self confidence and empowerment to apply and take action.
Mm-hmm.
That's the missing step. So 21 days to responsible wellness will give you the guidelines so you can actually act on your health.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fewer of us that have to be in the hospital, the fewer of us that have to see the doctor, that gives them the time and space to take care of the people that are really sick. And so I say, let's do it. And we are doing it. We're making that happen. That's the next piece here. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, just to give people a little insight of what we're up to. We're always up to no good here.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
It's
Don't
all
worry.
good. It's
Yeah,
all good. It's all good.
it's important. It's important what we're doing, Dr. Laurie. We always we're not competitive in that sense. We want to support. We want to support what is out there. We know it is burdened right now. It's heavily
Oh,
burdened right now.
yeah,
And any little bit that we can do to help support that is, we're here. We're here.
it's
Just
huge.
reach out.
Yes.
Yeah, reach
I
out.
don't know how many times I've heard stories of people who went into the emergency because of a mental illness or an overdose or whatever, didn't get looked after, and then went home and did something really terrible.
Mhm.
Well, that has to stop. That has to end right now. And it's nobody's fault. It's just that people are not well. So, people, let's get well physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, so that you can have the best life you can have. Because
Mhm.
when you're healthy, you don't have to retire if you don't want to.
Yeah.
If you want to, no problem, but you don't have to, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you for the time, Virginia. Hope
Mm.
everybody enjoyed our chat today on, put it up one more time. I just love the cover. It's beautiful. And this is a 200-page document, 8.5 by 11, with lots of space to draw and write and read and be creative too. All right. So bye for now.